Well, hey, I am being pulled to do something a little bit different here on these platforms from my heart space and share. I'm going to share what happened to me last night and what's inspired this new series. So, this new series is called The Pathway Towards Freedom Advice to Yesterday Self. Why am I doing it as if I don't have enough on my plate already? Right. However, we are going through an incredible transition and opportunity for making sustainable change in 2024. This year is all about taking the healing that you've done and running with it and really standing unshakable in your power, your truth, your desires, and arriving in your personal highest timeline. As each one of us arrive in our personal highest timeline, it does it for humanity, right? Like the energy shifts. If you think about like one tea light candle in a room being lit, and then everybody like five more, 10 more, 20 more, the room gets brighter and brighter and brighter. And that's what we're going through as a collective with humanity. It's a you thing right now. So I've been really processing, oh man, so much, you guys. You've watched my transition from, oh yeah, quirky dorky into pretty much an asshole. Like I'm so spicy. And I don't mean asshole in a negative way. Just there's a lot of things going on in this world and my own transition and watching people fall into self-victimization or fall into toxic vulnerability. I just like stop. So I've been super spicy on the Ascension series, as well as our new podcast, Recovering Toxic. That's a whole other company that I've launched, started launching last year, and now we're up and running. And it's words and things for now. We do have some awesome services coming, but I don't want to talk about that here. I want to talk about why I'm doing this. So you guys know my story. You've heard bits and pieces of it. A year ago, I did a series called 100 Days of Surrender. I did 100 days of public, vulnerable, moving through the last remaining pieces of doubt and lack of worth and lack of confidence and discovering what parts of my authentic self do I really want to bring into the world. And I went into that, brought me to a huge swing of where I'm sitting at today. And so I'm going to say a couple of things, not as bragging rights, but as if I can fucking do this, you can do this too. I'm I'm sitting in my highest timeline. I had a vision back when I was like, oh, fuck, forever. Forever, the same vision of being global, of changing lives. I wanted to change 1 million lives. I'm pretty sure we've done that as a collective here today. And then I had this moment of like, why be 1 million when I can do like a billion? That's only like 1/8 of the population. Like we can do that. We can do that. So that was my driving force in expanding the team that we have now. That was my driving force in launching the mentorship program, the certification program, and meeting incredible souls and helping them launch into the world and hold hands with me and create change. And so here I am. And you go check out the team. They're not all up yet either, which is amazing. I've been busting my ass as a mentor and helping these amazing souls step into the world. And I'm so proud of them and I'm so honored to be sitting with them. So I've done it. I've built the empire that I wanted to build. It's global. We're kicking ass. It's amazing. Like, oh, it's so good. I My books are coming out this year. Three of them already, and two more are in motion. We're doing I'm not sure what to call it, tips, advice, thoughts. I'm doing a man's perspective, woman's perspective, but through the principle of divine gender, I don't want to call it like, I was going to originally call it He Said, She Said. And it's two books with my educational background and all my experience on helping men and women come together and relationships come together. But that's what I'm writing right now. So I'm not sure what to call it. That isn't like, can we keep it gender neutral? But anyway, so there's that. I'd love your thoughts in the comments. Let's get into advice. Advice, not my advice to you, but my advice to me. And I figure sharing the story of a girl who came from nothing, excessive abuse, the lowest self esteem, body dysmorphia, eating disorders, um, desperation for love and connection, confusion with my sexuality, confusion with my own gender, um, corporate mongrel turned spiritual guru, whatever. I don't even know what to say. It's been wild. And so I had this thing happen. I've been sitting with this for a little while of like, I'd really like to bring that forward because there's a lot of beautiful things that I wish, in hindsight, wish isn't the right word, but in hindsight, if someone would have told me, it would have changed the game. And so I want to dive into a lot of different topics on owning your body, owning your power, owning your worth. I want to talk about loving life, not wanting to leave this world and moving into really thriving here and understanding how unbelievably amazing it is to be human. Never did I ever think I would say something like that. I was done. Like, I've been known to be like, being in these meat suits is damn heavy and it's stupid. And I totally get why you don't want to be here, but like, let's try and stay. Um, and the only reason I did stay is because of a surprise pregnancy, my daughter, my firstborn. That's what kept me here. And I was like, well, damn it. Now I gotta stay. Otherwise, I don't think I would have. So grateful to that, especially now sitting in the seat. So my highest timeline now looks like, and then I'm gonna tell you what this insane psychic phenomenon happened last night. I'm gonna try not to cry. So you're gonna get the softer side of me here. You're gonna get the hurt. You're gonna get the gushy, emotional mess that I am here in this series. Um, and then you get my asshole over in the recovering toxic series. Oy, the many layers. Okay. Or where do we start here? I am I am the founder. I built something out of nothing. I busted my ass with multiple jobs to pay for my education, to move through these things. I've been abandoned over and over and over, like over and over. I've dated narcissists. I've done it all. I've dated physically abusive, sexually abusive, emotionally abusive, mentally abusive. I was raised by a lot of that with various caregivers. I've been angry and raging and hating my past and cringing over who I used to be. My God. Oh, 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 oh. But here we are. I'm in my dream home with my dream partner, my dream family. I have the most functional, beautiful relationship with my children. I am, oh God, it's so good. My inner child is in like, because there's 5 animals in my house. Um, I love them. They're amazing. And it's just like there's always something to love and snuggle. It's really cool. I'm free. I'm in total freedom. And so last night, ready? This was wild. I've had this happen once before to this scale, but not to the level of transmutation that happened last night. There was a defining moment last night where I was sobbing so hard it was echoing through the house. Like, the day my grandmother passed away, who was like the person who I felt kept by the most in my life, she was my best friend. Wasn't even like a grandma, she was wild. When she passed away, that was the first time I heard myself cry out loud, like sobbing in my hands. And that same cry happened last night for two different, very different reasons, all at the same time. So this is how it goes, right? I'm in transition of my partner and I moving into our home together. That happens tomorrow. So today is Friday, the 26th of February. It happens tomorrow. With that transition comes my teenage stepdaughter, who is freaking gorgeous and amazing, beautiful soul. I've got my partner. My daughter is currently with me right now. So we're all going to be merging into our family home with the animals. And I am a very independent woman. I am my own man. I talked about that in the Embody retreat and how that's not a bad thing. I'm my own woman. I'm my own man. I'm my doer and my creator. And my partner and I really reflect each other beautifully. Not trigger, but reflect and honor. And it's incredible. It's the deepest love that I've ever known. So that's really cool. And I had many attempts at love. So this merging is happening. So last night, um, I was home alone. And it's going to be the last night that I will be home in this house completely alone. And then we're going to be merging on Saturday. And Friday, my daughter's home and, we're packing and all the things, right? So I do the typical, pour a drink, sit, watch some like TV. I'm like, I don't do that very often, but I just wanted a chance to snuggle with the animals and decompress. And reality TV for me is a feeling. I love it. I just love to be like, oh, that's what humanity's still like. Like, what is going on? It's amazing. So I was watching a final episode of that, and I kept hearing this like nudge of like, go listen to music, go listen to music. And then all of a sudden I realized, oh, I'm home alone. Oh my God. What? So I crank the music and I love to sing. I'm not great at it. Like there's some decent moments and then there's some moments of like where like my puppy Roxy was like, "Oh, can you just stop?" Right? I don't care. I just went for it. And so I'm singing and there's this one song called Girl. I don't remember who it's by. I love it. And so I'm singing it and I'm singing it. And all of a sudden, my body just starts to like gently tremble and my lip starts to quiver and my heart starts to pound. And I'm like, what is happening? And then it was like, whoo, into another dimension. And I'm standing there in the middle of, I have a very open concept kitchen. I have a chef's kitchen, open concept into this massive dining room. I'm standing in the middle of it, singing, and my body goes through the thing. And then all of a sudden, down the hallway comes 4-year-old me, like with my eye, like a child walked into and looked at me like, help. And I was like, oh my God. So I pick her up, like literally, I could feel her body, I could smell her. And I pick her up and I'm hugging her and we're dancing and she's laughing, she's smiling, and the emotion hits. And then 8-year-old me, who 8-year-old, so 4-year-old me was the one that got raped. I got raped right before I turned 4. I got raped in September, might have been October, I'm not sure. And I turned 4 in December. That was the first rape. Stupid babysitter's son. Like the whole thing is just disgusting. But, anyways, so I'm holding her. And then 8-year-old me, who I don't know how, I don't know how this incredible species, this little thing, I had cut my hair off into a boy's haircut. I was obsessed with the color blue. So I'd always wear like blue earrings, blue bows in my hair, but like blue boy clothes and like a combination of boy and girl because it didn't want to be anything. And I was bullied and picked on and beaten and like a lot of emotional and mental and physical abuse at that age. And somehow I still owned my style. I owned my worth. I went to this birthday party. I remember, and I was an underdog. Let me tell you, I was not socially accepted because I was odd. And I went to this birthday party and I had this crush on the guy who had this birthday. I think his name was Bobby. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to Bobby's house. Like, this is so cool. And I'm dressed in all my blue and I start dancing. And me as a little girl dancing, I wish I could stand up and show you, like, good job, babe. You go for it. And I didn't care. I had so much shit put upon me. And that 8-year-old little girl didn't care what anybody thought. I don't know how. I do not understand looking back how she was so determined to just be whatever the hell she wanted to be. So she walks in and I'm like, oh my God. Oh, and I'm like, you are the coolest kid. Like, you are so fucking cool. I am so proud of you for being so cool and just owning yourself. Like, you're so neat. And so she starts dancing with me and we're singing. And then 16-year-old me, that was a bad timeline. Like, I got hot at 16. Like, I was hot. I was smoking. In my opinion, anyways, I don't care. I thought I was gorgeous. And I didn't know I was beautiful then. I didn't know, like, I had a six pack for fuck's sakes. Like, I was ripped. I was athletic. I was like in control. I had a full time job and I was in school. I had financial flow. I was like the shit, but so fucking insecure and so desperate to prove to the world that I wasn't gay, that I was boy crazy. And so I remember just like, oh, so cringy. Purposely walking down the school halls of like the boy that I liked to get his attention, but like holding in my stomach and being like, I got this, and trying to walk like cool and like, wow, it's a lot of effort. She was real broken. She was really insecure. She was trying so damn hard to be accepted and loved for who she was, but nobody knew who she was. They just knew her double D breasts on a size 0 body with muscle and long flowing hair. Like, ugh. Anyway, so she shows up and I'm like, you have no idea how hot you are. Like, please understand, you are so hot. Like, I love you. You're gorgeous, but you're so hot on the inside. Like, you need to know. And so she's just taking it in. She's like, what? And I'm like, you will understand in hindsight. You will look back and be like, holy shit, I was an amazing human. And she's like, really? And I was like, yeah, girl. So that happens. Then my just about to be divorced self happened. So I would have been 23. Um, Super broken. I went into the corporate world real big hard after that and went through a lot of shit. She shows up and I'm just holding her and crying. And I'm like, it's going to be over. I promise you, it's going to be over so soon. Then a couple of other versions. Then my 33-year-old self, which was the darkest timeline of my life, where I literally was like fantasizing about not being in my body. She shows up and she was the one who spent countless hours with a notebook and a pen listening to music, meditating, and she wrote the foundation of the program now, Divine Alignment. She wrote it and she had no idea what it was going to do in the world. She had no idea this is what was going to launch her into the world. And she was trying to figure out how to do that and how to be comfortable on camera for social media. And I look back on that and I'm like, oh, baby girl, you just need to breathe and be. She was so insecure. She would never, like, oh God, she was just a broken hot mess. And really view she was trying to leave the narcissist, right? Like, ugh, so hard. So she came. And then 2 months ago, me showed up. And I was like, you did it. You wrote successfully, understood, debunked completely the Power 369, the law of relativity. You debunked it and wrote 4 4-hour programs and taught them successfully in the world. Like, and now they're turning into books. Like, babe, you did it. Like, you did it. It's done. It's over. And then as soon as I said it's over, sobbing, sobbing. I was sobbing, like contorted face, ache, my neck and my throat, my neck muscles were hurting because it was so intense. And it was like, it's over. And so as that hit, I was like, oh my God, my freedom's over. We're merging. You're getting married. You're going to be a wife forever. Like, this man is, I will grow old with this man, however old we end up being. This is absolutely it for me. Without a doubt in my fiber, whereas every other relationship I had, even though I was married, I was like, oh, this is not it. This is probably not it. And trying to make it work. So I'm going to get into probably too much personal detail here, but this is what I do. So let's go. Um, So I'm sobbing and I'm hearing this is over. And I start to sad sob on like, my independence, my this, my that. And then it was like, no, no, baby, go look. So I stop for a second and I'm like, what's over? And I'm literally looking in, like, they're in meet, all the versions of me, like literally there. And I'm like, they're like, go show us what we do. Look, we're gonna figure this out. So we come walking down the hall into my office. I love my office. It's full of all of my favorite things and gifts that have been given to me from students all over the world and my favorite humans, my soul family, my friends, all of that, right? There's a whole shelf over here full of gifts. And it's just this like constant reminder of you are loved. It's okay, keep going. So I come in and I show them my office and my whiteboard, which is now full of things. Um, and it was this like, oh my God, the hardship, it's over. And then 27 or 28-year-old me, she was engaged to a man that kept cheating on her. It was awesome. She didn't know what love was. She was desperate to be kept. She was desperate to be safe. And this was her ticket, she thought. So she thought she was in love with him. And they had a lot in common and they had a lot of fun. But the fucking douchebag cheated on me with like a girl that was like 19. Like, are you broken, sir? Like, what the fuck? So I remember going through that whole process with him. And, he was he's an Aries. So he's so extra. smashed his cell phone and was like, she'll never contact me again. And this big procedure, proposed to me. We bought a house. I loved this house. My kids had space. It was like, finally. I had this moment where I was like getting in the car to go to Blockbuster. That's how old I am, to get a movie for the kids for the night. And I got into the car and I had the house, the car, the kids, the family. I thought I had made it. And I said to myself, you've made it. You can relax now. No, didn't. He continued his affair. It was awesome. But that was like, that's what catapulted me to here and now. And so last night she steps forward and she's like, it's not that we've made it. We're taking that out. Look at the vibration of we've made it. The vibration of we've made it is so low of like, okay, we've arrived. Like now we can. And it was like, no, instead it's over. And this what works for me. That's not going to work for everybody else vibrationally, but it's over. You're here. You're living your dream. You are living in purpose. You are living in your home. You have the most incredible husband to be. You have the most incredible stepdaughter and the most incredible relationship with your children. You've got your favorite animals. You've got property. You've got multiple properties. You've got the car that you love. You've got like all the things, but even more so, you love us. You love us. Oh, sobbed because I do. I love every version of them. I love me. I do. Like, I really love me. And I was like, fuck off. This is incredible. So then the cry turns into this amazing cry. And then all of a sudden it was like download after download. So my whiteboard over here is full of what I want to bring forward in this series. Like it's full. And as I was moving through it all, and we'll get into it more later, but the biggest realization that I had is number one, how much I love all of me's, the versions. Two, when I look back on every fucked up relationship, friendship, career, there are a lot of fucked up careers, every version of myself, except for maybe one, but in my darkest timeline, she wasn't very healthy with anything. But what did I offer them? And what was the defining tipping of the scale? And so the defining tipping of the scale for me was I got cancer the second time, and it created a condition that gave me 8 weeks to live. So it wasn't the cancer. The cancer wasn't a big deal. Like, whatever, we got this, it's gone, whatever, right? But it gave me a secondary condition that I had to navigate through that was supposed to take my life. And I had met this gentleman who's quite a bit older and quite wealthy and kind of a dick. Like, he's a Scorpio, he's a dick. Like, not a lot of people like this man. They pretend to and whatever, and they find humor in him, but he can be quite an asshole. So I meet this man and I'm dying. Like, I think I'm dying. And we bond and we become insane friends and with no intention of longevity or romance or any of that, just incredible friends. And I learn him. He paid my entire year. He paid for all of my medical needs, and I did it the natural way to still be here. He paid for the computer I needed. He bought this incredible house, let me design it and revamp it, remodel it, and move into it with him. And he took care of me and my daughter. Just took us in. And like a stray dog, like I always did for the rest of the world, right? So maybe if you believe in karma, maybe that, I don't know. And I was like, oh man, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for his financial support and his friendship, I wouldn't be here. And then I was like, oh man, like he spoiled me, like spoiled me, like materialistically spoiled me, not so much emotionally, but anyway, he's just avoidant. And I was like, do we feel bad about that? And I'm talking to that version of me. And she's like, but what did you give him? And then I started realizing what I gave him. And I gave him a lot, a lot, a lot. But I also gave him, for the first time in his life, unconditional acceptance for who he was. We talked about aliens. We talked about meditation. We talked about the Power 369. We talked about the whole pandemic when we went through it. We talked about there was no topic off table. We talked about what went wrong in his marriage. We talked about what went wrong in his parenting. We talked about his self doubt. We talked about his family dynamic. I gave him full, unconditional acceptance. And then I started floating through everything else. And this is what changed the game for me. Every human I gave full unconditional acceptance to, not unconditional love. No, unconditional acceptance. And when I came out the other side of this 8-week death notice that I was given, I gave unconditional acceptance to all of my desires becoming my reality. So I literally sold whatever possessions I had left and I moved to Costa Rica. All I owned was a suitcase full of clothes. That was it. And I just went for it. And in that journey, I was able to give full unconditional acceptance to my physical body. And I was quite overweight then, like super, super curvy. Um, Never wore makeup, didn't care about name brand shit, didn't dropped it all, dropped it all. The whole superficial piece of me, the need to be something for the world, the need to look like I'm part of the world, gone, gone, gone. And so it's the unconditional acceptance. And then I went back through every version of me that was sitting here in my office with me. And it was unconditional acceptance. And they have that for me. Like, I don't know if that's going to hit you the way it hit me, but it hit me. And it was, oh my God, such a transformation that happened in just a few moments. And I feel like I am a completely different woman now. I feel fully unshakable, unstoppable, in full trust of my journey. And that is just going to keep going. And I'm like, what's next? Like, what is it that I desire to experience after this? Because I'm here. So now what? And yep, I'm present and I'm in the moment and I'm taking it a moment at a time. But I also know through the Power 369, if there's not a vision of what I desire to experience on top of what I'm already experiencing, then I'll just keep experiencing the mundane. It'll get mundane at some point. I am the creator of my experience. And so I fully understand now. Okay, let's get that vision. Like, what is it that we're stepping into with unconditional acceptance? Like, so good. So good. Oh, so I've got, I think there's 30 different topics on this board right now. I'm going to break them down. I'm going to, my goal, my desire is to do like 2 videos a week for this series. But it'll be at least one. So stay tuned, follow along. If it resonates, tag the people who you think it would help us grow. Go look at the Meet the Team on diamond.com. There is, and we're not done putting everybody up yet. Help them the way you've helped me. The more we share, the more we tag the people who it would be support to. Like, I don't know if you saw the Recovering Toxic podcast with Bex. Some of them are super spicy. So don't send your delicate friends there. Cause like when it's just me, it's like all my fucking stop being an asshole, stop being a dumbass kind of vibe. Like, oh, it's spicy. Which is a huge piece of who I am. But support, support these souls. Cause it's like energy attracts energy. And the more love you pour towards them, the more love you're having poured back towards you. And I'm telling you, it's the greatest honor in the world to be standing in full service for humanity and bringing people as far as you've arrived. I know where I'm at with my wisdom, with my ability to create my life, with standing in my highest timeline. I know how to do it. I know the steps. And it's the biggest honor in the world to help other souls arrive here. I don't care about like what success is or being famous or anything like that. I don't give a shit about any of that. I care to change lives. And these people on the team are new mentors, are certified mentors now. Bex, Ricky, Andrea's going up. You've probably seen her podcast on Talking Shift. Sarah, Karen, Amanda, Dare is going to be coming up soon. Bree's coming up soon. Like these are the most beautiful, beautiful humans that I've ever met. Well, there's so many that I've met that are really beautiful, but these are the ones that are like, tag me in. I'm in. Let's do this. So please share the love. Tag whoever you know in your life that might benefit from any of these podcasts. Share them, please. Let's put these faces, let's get these amazing people in front of the world. And yeah, awesome. And I know, side note, I've gotten a lot of emails about when the next mentorship program is going to be. I haven't decided when yet, but there will be one more this year and probably the last one, like just one this year. So that mentorship program will be coming up. So start to save your pennies for that because it is an investment and it does give you an opportunity, not a promise to be on the team, but an opportunity to be on the team with all of these other amazing people. All right. So this is it. Here we go. The path towards freedom, advice to yesterday self. I love you. Go look for a million reasons. Go look in the mirror and find a million reasons to say thank you. I love you. It'll change the game. Talk to you guys soon.